Good afternoon. Co-chairs Lopes and Gresco, ranking members Harding and Callahan, and distinguished members of the Environment Committee. Thank you for granting me the opportunity to speak in support of SB 197, an act concerning the availability of certain butcher operations within the state, and SB 198, an act establishing local representation on the Connecticut Siting Council for local projects. A similar concept to 197 was introduced last year. It passed this committee, but not in the Senate. I've been approached by local farmers asking for this bill to be introduced again this year. Our local farmers are hardworking men and women who provide fresh, quality food to our citizens and do all that they can to help with food insecurity that many in our communities face. We should do all that we can to help them do their jobs. The real problem facing our farmers is that there are not enough USDA processing facilities and inspectors. Our farmers must make an appointment much as a year in advance of processing, often before animals are born. Farmers spend the entire year growing cattle, pigs, or sheep, and then can't get them processed for sale simply because of a shortage of these processing facilities. As a result, farmers have no control over their own businesses and their supply chains. They're unable to respond in a timely fashion to increases in consumer demand, which impacts their business growth. Consequently, our local farms are unable to supply enough local meat to consumers and grocery stores. Keep in mind, there were meat shortages during the pandemic. Now's the time for us to allow our farmers to access butchers under Department of Public Health inspection oversight and do all that we can to support them. As for Bill 198, an act establishing local representation on the Connecticut Siting Council for local projects, the issues surrounding this bill are of great importance to my district. A similar bill on local representation was passed last year, but unfortunately, it was vetoed by the governor. The need for this bill still exists. Brookfield residents have been critical and are troubled over the expansion of 5G, pipelines, and similar matters without having any real input on these matters and their impact on our community. They've been very vocal on the issue of towers and have spoken out before several Board of Selectmen meetings. Additionally, since there's a lack of information regarding health risks caused by radiation emitted from the structures, residents have also been sounding the alarm on the potential impact on health. For these reasons, I believe local control is important. Local communities should be able to follow local ordinances which reflect local values. I believe SB 198 is a reasonable and responsible compromise at this time with all the competing views that we have on this issue. Thanks again for raising these two bills and giving me the opportunity to speak. I urge you to favorably pass these bills out of committee. Do you have any questions?
Thank you, Representative. Any questions? Thank you, Representative, for your testimony.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. I read that, the veto message also, and I think what you're just asking here is a seat at the table. Not even for, yeah, I would prefer that the local attendants have a vote, but you're just asking them for a seat at the table. It's different. One thing, like today, listening to a public hearing,
right?
But that a seat at the table would, do you think that would be an advantageous to just be able to engage in, as a voice for your community?
Yeah, I do think that it's an important part of the process for local people to be on the committee so that they can reflect the local values of the town. They know what's best for the town, what's not. They have suggestions they can make. Granted, you could do it in a public hearing or something, but having a seat in the inner circle, I think, is the best way to go.
Thank you, and thank you for your testimony.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Representative Piscopo. Seeing no other, Representative Reddington Hughes.
Thank you, Representative Foncello.
Thank you.
My question has to do with the reasoning behind this, which I think is being misinterpreted, because I believe that including people on the siting council is most likely not going to change the vote itself. It would allow, though, the general public to know from the inside what some of the objections are without having to have those leaders issue them from the outside. Am I correct?
I think by including the people on the council, on
Yes.
the committee, again, you would eliminate the appearance of a mandate or a dictate from the state government. The people could buy into the process. So there's going to have to be a little give and take, I guess, on both sides. But I think having the locals on the board, that's the way to go.
And in addition to that, perhaps do you feel that having the people that live in these areas involved, that it may give the siting council itself some better clarity?
I would say yes. The local people have better insight as to what their community is like, the lay of the land, the resources that are there. I think it's important.
Thank you.
Thank you.